damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio.
Cagno Radio. Start now.
Episode 57 of Cagno Radio begins right now. My name is Cal Cagno. His name is Joe. Question mark. Did you say it last time on the podcast? I feel like you said it.
If anybody has listened to this show since the first episode I've been on, I think I've said my entire name, my kids' names. I think I gave away my bank account PIN number. I've done it all.
It's funny. Somebody tried to mic drop me this week and went on over to Cal Cagno Radio, and instead of writing in the dirty little secret that they wanted to write, they were like, "I know your real name," and I was like, "Cool." Cool, dude.
Right. You should have said, "Shh, don't tell."
So yeah, they put "I know your real name" and then put in quotes "mic drop," and I go, "Oh," but I can't write back because it's anonymous.
Well, maybe that was his name, Mike Drop.
Oh, it could be.
Was it M-I-K-E?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was probably his name. He just signed his name.
Yeah, it's like when people call into radio shows, they're like, I can probably just clean him up for his. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate everybody joining us today. If you are wondering, yes, I did send out a thing for March Badness. I ended up sending it out. I don't know how many people signed up. It was strictly for fun. So if you joined us for our March Badness thing that we were doing, our brackets, hopefully you're doing well in that. I'm doing well in mine. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But it happened to me last night. I turned into an old man, Joe, and I want you to know that it broke my heart a little bit when... Okay, let me start from the beginning because I'm not really telling the story right. My wife won an Alexa. Do you know what Alexa is?
Yeah, the Amazon thing.
Yeah. Basically what we're doing is allowing the U.S. government to have a microphone in my house so that they can listen to us at all times. Now, anybody out there that's thinking, you know what? No, they're not listening. Well, it's funny that it knows every time I say, "Hey, Alexa," it certainly pops on. So it must hear everything else as well that we're saying.
Right, but when you just know that when you say, "Hey, Alexa," it's a microphone that runs through an audio processor that triggers something. It's not, Dave Stevens in the white van out front that whenever you're like, "Hey, Alexa," he puts a cigarette out and hits record. You know what I mean? Like the government's not listening.
Well, yeah, I feel like if the government's going to be listening to people, I'm not the one they're listening to.
Well, that's exactly it.
And by the way, Dave Stevens is the lead singer from We Came as Romans, and he's a friend of mine. So when you said that, I'm like, "Do you know Dave?"
Oh, yeah, I just picked a random name.
Dave Stevens is a guy that, hey, congratulations, he's getting married soon to Marcella. They just celebrated their engagement.
Perfect.
And part of me died because I'm secretly in love with her. And I've said it on the air on 89X like one too many times, and then I met her, and I was like, you haven't heard all the things I said about you, have you?
Are you an avid listener? Gee, I hope not, but I kind of hope so.
She was. She knew everything I had said and was nothing but gracious about it.
Nothing but gracious when she stood on the other side of the room the entire time.
And I was like, if I was single, let's imagine. I mean,
let's say we met for the first time tonight.
Let's say that Dave wasn't here, and I was and my wife wasn't here. Let's just say
the painless accident.
Yeah, we're at a bar.
We're at church.
Yeah,
we're at church, and there's a seat open next to in the pew.
It's Christmas
next to
Eve. It's a Christmas Eve service, and we're lighting candles. And
I got my white turtleneck on.
Turtleneck sweater, my
You're
chain.
in a lovely Christmas dress.
And you say you want me to light your candle. And, of course, we mean that only figuratively. I mean metaphorically.
So anyway, We Came as Romans, the last album. They were really moving some units,
They're so good. I love those guys, so I shouldn't even joke about it. Dave's a good guy, so I should stop here. Anyways, got Alexa in my house.
Okay.
So yesterday we got talking, my daughter and I, who's 11, we got talking about Michael Jackson. And I was like, Michael Jackson was the man. At one point, Michael Jackson was Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Taylor Swift, and Pink.
And now he's just a dead pedophile.
Yeah, now he's known as something else. But in his time, he was the biggest pop star out there. I mean, would you argue?
Yeah, up to Thriller. And then after Thriller, wasn't it Bad that came out next?
Yes.
And when he was on the cover and everyone was like, wait, is that him or his sister?
Right.
Like, quite
he had
a
like
difference.
the Jerry curl hair and like very much an S&M look. Like he was trying to look tough, but sort of looked like a guy who had just come from like the City Club in Detroit.
Yeah.
Who was like begging to get kicked in the nuts.
Right.
Who
Right.
was paying someone to kick him in the nuts.
Right.
So anyways, Alexa,
During a Bon Jovi video.
Exactly. Like Bon Jovi's is like Living on a Prayer's playing and like it's like
And then somebody just gets booted.
Yeah, booted.
That's
right.
what.
That's kind of what I'm
what
talking
Michael
about.
Jackson was
right
like.
now. Imagine that. All right, so I'm telling my daughter about how big he was, and she's like, she doesn't believe me, and I'm like, maybe it's because of the internet. Like, I don't know if like now if there's really a star that big. Taylor Swift, maybe she's pretty huge. I mean, but I mean, in his day, in 1984, Thriller comes out. I don't know of anybody that's bigger. So I say, hey Alexa, play Michael Jackson. So it's like shuffling songs by Michael Jackson, and it puts on. Hold me like the river Jordan.
Oh, serious?
From Free Willy.
And I will then say to me, you are my friend.
But I'm only human. Yeah, so
Carry
yeah,
me.
okay, yeah, exactly. Now there's a part of you who loves that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
is there another part of you that can at least relate to the fact that you probably haven't heard that song in about 20 years?
Oh, right.
Because it came on and I was like,
Right. And then you wanted to dance like he did when he was dancing in front of the elephant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be there. And then like they break it down and she's
Yeah.
looking at me like I'm crazy. She's like, "Why is this good?" And it was like breaking my heart because like I kind of wasn't really sure that it was
So
still
you're like,
good.
"Oh, let me play you another one.
So then I put on Bad, right?
Uh-huh.
So then Bad comes on and it's like, "Your bud is mine, you're being right, and I'm like, this isn't really cool either. Like, it's not tough.
Right.
It's like he tried to be tough, but like wasn't tough.
I had the same talk with my kids. And so what I did is I went and bought the Thriller vinyl for $7 and played them Thriller. I didn't give them anything else.
Just the song Thriller?
Well, that album. So Thriller, Billie Jean.
Human Nature's on there.
Yep, all that. And so like when it was like Billie Jean is not my
Yeah.
like the girls loved it. They thought it was great. Exactly. So they thought it was they loved it. But
Good, okay.
They didn't. So I explained the same thing to him. Like he was like the biggest
Right,
thing
but
at
here's
one
the thing.
point.
When you're growing up and your dad or your mom plays songs from their youth for you, like we had the Beatles,
Right.
which I still
Like
think is-
Leif Garrett is huge. You're gonna love him because when I was your age, I loved Leif
I
Garrett.
loved Sean Cassidy, not David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, his cooler, younger, metrosexual brother, Sean.
We thought he was awesome. So here, I know you're gonna love this tape.
Here's the thing. Listen, these guys were called the Bee Gees. When they opened up their mouth, this is what came out. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh.
And I put this out on Twitter the other day. Like, do you think they chose to sing like that? The Bee Gees. Like, they were handed a piece of sheet music, and they were like, okay, my name's Barry Gibb. Here's how I'm going to sing.
I think I'm going to sing it
How
like
deep
this.
is your love? Your love. Like, they decided to sing in the highest register they could find.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what they do. I mean, if I handed you music, and let's say you started a band called Mode,
Yes.
and you decided to sing in this band called Mode, you would just sing the way you sang in the shower, the way you
Right.
always sing. So Barry Gibb and the boys, they just
Is
sang
he
like
dead?
they did. I think they're all pretty much dead.
One of them is dead. I
They're
know
all
that.
dead to me.
Oh,
Put it that
come
way.
on, dude.
Disco? No.
No,
Bee
Disco's
Gees,
dead.
I can't do
Okay,
Bee
so
Gees.
anyway, so the end of the story goes like this. So
But do you think when they were kids, they were all in the back seat on a family trip and they're singing like,
harmonizing?
yeah, they're all doing that, like driving across the country, and Dad's like, "Okay, guys, I've had it with your singing," and
Yeah.
they're all back there doing that.
I heard Jimmy Fallon on Stern one time, and he was talking about the Barry Gibb talk show. Remember, they was like,
Yeah.
"Lining up on the Barry Gibb talk show." They were, him and what's his name, Timberlake, did the Barry Gibb talk show, and he said the reason he knew how to do those harmonies, he said, because I was the biggest nerd in high school. He said his parents would let him drink it at their house. Like they were the parents who were like, if you're gonna drink, you can drink at our house. So he said him and his loser friends who had no girls in sight would study the harmonies of Barry Gibb and the Bee Gees. So he's like, we knew all of the harmonies in those songs. We would drink and listen to the Bee Gees. He's like, what a bunch of losers.
Wow.
And then they made up this backstory about how Robin Gibb and Barry Gibb were in some sort of fight. Remember how there was always like some tension between them on Saturday Night Live?
Right.
We don't know. So yeah. So anyway, beyond the Bee Gees, you have the fact that my daughter thinks that Michael Jackson sucks. And then I decided to put on the ultimate. We went from bad to
Worse.
Weird Al Yankovic, Fat.
Oh, yeah, which she probably liked better.
Loved it.
Yeah.
We have now listened to that song 7 times since yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's my thought process is like, is Weird Al, does he somehow transcend generations with his basically
Yes.
dad jokes?
Yes.
Like, dude,
My
my
kids-
butt is wide. Or, your butt is wide or whatever, and mine is too.
Yeah.
Better watch your mouth or I'll sit on you. Like,
Yeah.
they're not even funny, but it's just, he's not a good singer. He's not a good dancer. The music's not very good, but he's transcendent.
I
Weird
disagree with
Al.
you. I disagree with you. I think lyrics are clever as all get out. I mean, if you sit down and you write words to all those songs, we don't do that. Like, that is his gift. He does those mock songs and those parodies, and he can bang those things out. The music is good, I believe.
You mean because it's close enough that it sounds a lot like it's not
Yeah,
like a
that it sounds-
karaoke version.
Correct. And then I think I think he can sing. I mean, he's not like he can carry
He's not
a pitch.
like Pavarotti.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a fantastic voice, but he can hit the notes and he can sing. But the thing about him is, especially I think when you have kids, like that is it Robin Thicke song Blurred Lines?
Oh my God.
Like when that one came
I
out.
know you want it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
like-
the following stuff to you.
Yeah, like that's a tough song to listen to with your kids, like when
Yes.
it comes on the radio. But when you listen to the Weird Al version,
Does he do a weird?
oh yeah, he does a fantastic.
What's it
And I'm
called?
trying to think what it is.
Because I was okay. So yesterday, what we did. So after we listened to Fat, then I went through sort of his whole catalog. Played Amish Paradise, which she didn't know the original version, but like thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Weird Al, I think, holds up better in 2018 than Michael Jackson.
Have you ever tried to get tickets to a Weird Al show?
Why did they sell out?
Oh heck yeah!
Really?
They sell out in about a half hour. They're like $100 a ticket. I'm not joking, man.
No, I know.
They're tons. My sister Eric, and not my sister Eric.
Yeah,
but my
your sister,
comma Eric, comma my niece. They all went and saw him either last year or 2 years ago. Like, got fantastic seats, paid through the nose. I mean, they're huge. So, like, my niece is a big Weird Al fan. My daughters are a big Weird Al fan. The one that he did for Blurred Lines, instead of Blurred Lines, it's called like Word Rhymes or something like that. But the entire song is about English and grammar. So, like, again, you want to talk about, like, the words aren't written well. Read the lyrics for that song. He talks about onomatopoeias, where to put commas. Like, he's giving you, like,
Wow.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Okay.
He's giving you a Schoolhouse Rock song with blurred lines. So, like, here's Robin Thicke's version that I can't listen to because I don't want my kids, like, at that age, I didn't want them listening to that music.
You didn't want them to see the blurred lines between like forced sexual encounters and like
Right.
what you want. Because I would treat you like
or the video for it.
yeah, exactly. Where you're like, oh wow, no, everyone's naked in this video. That's
Right.
cool.
So-
and Robin Thicke's like 45. Can we just throw that out there again?
Right.
I cannot believe that Robin Thicke ever had a career being that old, being Alan Thicke's son,
Right.
and singing that high ass voice.
yeah.
I mean, he sounds like Aaron Neville, like high ass voice like Aaron Neville.
Aaron Neville, look at my hair.
Somebody told me one time, I heard somebody say that Aaron Neville sounds like when you're tuning an old school radio. How it kind of sort of comes in at times.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, when you get the high voice like Aaron Neville, again, you decided when you got that sheet music, no, I'm going to sing it up here.
But you got that high voice like Aaron Neville, and I'm down with the devil.
That's
Was that
exact-
little Joe
yeah,
C?
Yeah, Joe C. Rest in
I
peace.
got a higher voice like Aaron Neville.
That's right. He sang, that's right. Because we like to party, rock the party.
Hey, little moment of silence here for little
Let's
Joe
pour
C.
some out for Joe C. Did I ever tell you that his cousin wanted to fight me?
Yes.
Did I tell you?
Yes, and then later on tried to get into like, hey, Cal, can you give me tickets to a show?
And I was like, oh, God.
You're like, dude, you almost killed me like
did
3
I
years
tell
ago.
this on the podcast?
I don't know if you told it on the podcast or just with me over brunch.
Okay.
Over eggs
I'll tell,
Benedict.
if I've already told this story, I apologize. But yeah, so Joe C's cousin and I worked at a factory together. And on day one, Joe worked there too. You worked there too.
Yes, you did tell this story.
Oh, I did. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
on
Well,
the
he
air.
wanted to fight me. So basically, the moral of the story for those that didn't hear it is that first day, the manager or like the shift supervisor comes over and is like, "Hey, where's this guy?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Then I go back in the break room 2 hours later, and this dude is standing over me and is like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, either I'm going to kick your ass now in the break room or after work, but just know that you're going to get beat down.
At some point today.
I'm going to punch you in the face until I can't punch you anymore because you didn't cover for me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't know I was supposed to cover for you. And then he quickly didn't beat my ass because I think I left early because I felt sick or something. And then months later told me that he's like, oh, my cousin's like a midget. That's exactly what he said. That's his words, not mine. And he hangs with Kid Rock. I'm like, oh, that local rapper, Kid Rock, who does Yodeling in the Valley? This was like 3 years before Kid Rock became like, I am the bull guy.
Yeah. Ba with the ba, the bang, a ding,
I
diggy,
still don't know
diggy.
what ba what to ba means, but when
I don't
that
know,
song
but it
comes
gets
on,
hyped.
dude, I get straight up goose pimples when
I know. I want to chuck a beer bottle through someone's front bay window. That's what I want to do.
And then
as
make
soon as
out-
it goes, "My kid," I want to just grab a bottle and just chuck it.
And then I want to make out with a girl with bleach blonde hair. I mean, just dark roots, bleach
Right.
blonde hair, and we're going to make out.
Right.
Lot of tongue.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients in the world.